March 8th is International Women's Day. In alignment with this year's theme, Break the Bias, elected female executives on national sports organizations and associations are being recognized and celebrated. The Women in Sport Commission of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee is spearheading this year's celebration. Chairperson of the committee, Jennifer NERO, firmly believes that when men and women are equally empowered, the whole community benefits.
Starting with the communities or your organization. In our community, for example, we are saying break the bias and allow more women at the decision-making table. This is important. Hence, we chose the elected officials as the most fundamental way to have a voice at the decision-making table, and we want to recognize and value these women going forward in the books, that the younger generation will see the value for this and want to step forward. So it's a serious platform we're working on, and we're looking forward to the continued support of Mr. President and all of the other members of the...
President of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, ALPHONSO Bridgewater, notes that Break the Bias theme emphasizes the importance of equality, equity, and inclusivity.
I can't believe another year has gone by so quickly. Congratulations to the local Women in Sports Commission of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee and Commonwealth Games Association. Break the bias. That's the theme for this year. And I'm happy for the reminder that we should all, as men and as leaders, recognize our behavior and how it is biased against women. I'm happy for the reminder that we should really acknowledge the individualism of women and what they could bring to the table. And happy for the reminder that we should celebrate the attributes of women. And I'm happy for the reminder that we really could consider the significance that women bring to the table and to their presence bring to all that we do. So let us really and truly, as we go through the programming for this year, break the bias.
Other members of the SKNOC executive shared similar sentiments.
Traditionally, women have not come to the fore in terms of the management of our major sporting organizations in St. Kitts and Nevis. The St. Kitts and Nevis Handball Association therefore supports this Break the Bias campaign, which the Women in Sport Commission of the Olympic Committee is pushing for its members and the member clubs of the NOC. We are therefore glad to be part of this Break the Bias campaign, and we will give it every support that is necessary. Thank you.
We're happy to be celebrating International Women's Day from the Volleyball Federation, the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association, and North Acre as a whole. I want to wish all our ladies, in fact, everyone worldwide, happy International Women's Day.
Women's Day, for me it means celebrating, promoting, rewarding women who has contributed to our nation, whether or not locally, regionally, whether or not in sports, whether or not on the field, off the field, whether or not it's administratively. But also to know that we are promoting them. We are making people aware what women have contributed in sports. Because for me, or what I've seen that's very lacking, that we don't promote enough of women. We always feel like sports belongs to men, but women can bring a great contribution to sports, and that is, when the day comes, I feel good that I am able to give another woman an award because of what they've done in sports.
I'm delighted to be a part of this campaign to break the bias. On behalf of all dancers and cheerleaders, let us truly consider a world that is diverse, valued, and inclusive.
Having women in the at the decision-making table is vitally important, especially at this time, as it symbolizes progression in the sporting world.
This year's theme is Break the Bias. To me, it means so much. Where it states where you can show accountability, fairness, and equality within sports. This means so much to me, especially in the sports of cricket, where I represent. And I do wish all the females a great International Women's Day on March the 8th, 2022.
Yes, for 2022, we are breaking the bias. Breaking the bias means women, in general, we have more recognition in making decisions at the table, whether it's in politics, in sports, whatever it is, that we have a voice no matter what. And we have the main voice when it comes to women. And that is what we are trying to get across for this year, women in sports and women across the world, by breaking the bias.
Breaking the bias, I would like to see breaking the bias in sports, especially as it relates to governance matter, giving women more opportunities, and creating also opportunities for women. Too long that men have they are the one who controls everything, but women has shown that they can do just as good as men in that area. So we want to break the bias. We are encouraging the men to also see the need to break the bias for betterment, for the betterment of everyone that is involved.
While receiving special greetings from the SKNOC and the Women in Sport Commission, the celebrants shared what Break the Bias means to them.
The theme, Break the Bias, is very appropriate as it further strengthens our quest for gender equality in all aspects of life. We are still marginalized, so we need to find ways to motivate our sisters to be brave enough to stand up and stand tall to ensure we achieve our goal. Break the bias for gender equality is a must.
As we observe International Women's Day 2022, I would like to remind us that women are to be intentional in aspiring to be part of any organization or institution once they are equipped for the position. Breaking the bias against gender inequality in today's world needs a positive force and collaboration of women in every sphere of society as we encourage our peers to continue breaking glass ceilings of discrimination and stereotypes. International Women's Day 2022. Break the bias.
Breaking the bias means inviting women at the table, allowing females a part of the decision-making process, and that's good for everyone.
Breaking the bias for me means that we should have gender equality. What does that mean? It means that we as women can be as good as men.
What breaking the bias means to me? As we all know, track and field has been dominated by men for centuries, whether track, athletes, admin. But look at us now. We girls are here. Do you know how much times they make us feel invisible? Women have been running track, running companies, families, and it's not just a hobby. It's a lifestyle. So young girls, no, you can do this. This can be you. You can be here too. So even if they make you feel invisible or like you can't do it, baby girl, just wait for your moment. Opportunities are gonna come and you're gonna shine.
Breaking the bias means having a voice for not just female athletes, but male athletes also, especially in a sport of track and field that is dominated by males, whether by athletes, coaches, or sports administrators.
Break the bias means to me gender equity, where women are now able to have the same say as men in decision making.
Breaking the bias. The women of netball play a strong and positive role in playing the sport of netball. Having men involved shows a positive role also. They can play the game too. As a young lady who plays the sport, also a part of the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association, have the opportunity of being the first player as part of the committee and still plays encouraging young ladies to step forward because there's opportunity available and they can develop their skills of playing the sport.
Poverty should not disqualify a person from any opportunity in life. Aptitude should not be overlooked by a person's background. Don't care of one's background, it should not deprive them. Break the silence.
Gender bias for me is equal rights for all, for both genders, male and female.
The little things that they overstep are the things that really make us who we are.
Yes.
And put us at the table, but they just bypass them and put it that way. But we have been doing these things more than what they have been. So
Even in college sports, especially volleyball, you ain't hearing much about the females. So WNBA, we don't hear much about it. Whereas the male counterpart making, let's say one contract is 250 million. One contract for a male NBA player.
female barely quarter that. 100,000, that.
So it must be the equity must be here, right? But we got ways to go.
One at a time. One second.
Break the bias means ending stereotypes and discrimination. It means women being at the table, bringing equity, diversity, equality, and inclusivity. It means a woman's role is valued and celebrated. Break the bias.
We must continue to rally behind our women as they continue to impact our federation with their meaningful contributions to the decision-making table.